Now let's switch gears and talk about expressing disapproval. So when you express disapproval when your child makes some sort of mistake, it could go in one of two ways. And perhaps you've heard this, but it could go in the direction of shame or it could go in the direction of guilt. Shame is where you think to yourself, I'm a bad person. And guilt is where you think to yourself, I did a bad thing. And of course, we always want to err in the side of guilt. We always want to have an environment in our homes where our kids know that we unconditionally love them, that we are their biggest fan, that we are in their corner. But they need to understand that behavior has got to go. We don't ever want them to internalize that, okay, I messed up, I made a mistake, and now all of a sudden I've been labeled as a deviant. I've been labeled as a wrongdoer. I've been labeled as someone who just screws up all the time. Because what happens is, according to the research, when you shame someone, they tend to either run away, they become avoiders of the problems and of the situations, or they lash out at the person who shamed them. However, when you instead cultivate guilt, where again you're conveying to them, look, I love you so very much, but you just have to change that behavior, the kids become amenders. They become problem solvers. So let's summarize all this. First off, when your child messes up, you need to definitely convey to them that, okay, child, this was wrong for these reasons. And you and I as adults, we might be thinking, man, my kid should have totally known that it was the wrong thing to do because of all the conversations we have had in the past. However, we need to also remember that when we were kids, when we were teenagers, every new experience, every new interaction was just that. It was new. It had different subtleties and gradations and gray areas, and so we were able to justify it. We were able to rationalize it. But we need to tell our kid, nope, you know what? That thing that you just recently did, it was wrong for the very same reasons that we covered with that last instance on Instagram or Facebook or when it comes to your soccer teammates or whatever it is. So then they will refine their decision filter and they will go ahead and hopefully in the future learn from that. But to be honest, they might not, and it might require another refining of their decision filter the next time they mess up. Next, you need to convey to them that their behaviors do not occur in a vacuum. And to be honest, you and I know in our heads that they don't occur in a vacuum, but when you're a kid, you just don't fully get it. You just don't cognitively understand that it isn't just my life. The things that I do affect my parents and their reputation, my reputation at school, what educators think of me, what my teachers think about me, what my friends think about me, future opportunities that could come my way. There's so many implications for my actions right now as a 15-year-old or even as an 11-year-old. So get your kids to understand that. And then thirdly, we want them to become amenders. We want them to become problem solvers. So let's say that my son posts something ridiculous and obscene and cruel on Twitter. Now I could say, son, that was seriously jacked up. What I want you to do in order to make up for that is to write this other kid a letter of apology, and I want you to post anonymous compliments about this kid to sort of make up for what you've done over the next couple of months. Now, I think that's a great idea. I think that goes a long ways, and it's a solid solution. But what I think is even better is if we say to ourselves, okay, or if we say to the kid, son, what are you going to do to make this right? And then let them, of their own creativity and their own imagination, come up with solutions, come up with the best way to solve the problem and to restore the equilibrium. Because they're not going to be with us at all times. They're going to go off to college, they're going to become adults, and we want them to have the social skills and also the reference points in their past to be able to fix problematic interactions and make things back to good.